besides my project, one of the other endeavors that I want to accomplish is visualizing the fourth dimension, a spatial fourth dimension. And so that's something that I've been trying to do for a long time. You know, it's said that it's impossible to visualize it, but you know, to me, there's a lot of things that have been impossible that later on were accomplished. To me, impossible doesn't mean anything, especially when it's something that you know, I feel like it can be accomplished. I just don't listen to that word impossible. I think there's always a way. Anyway, so visualizing the fourth dimension is something that I've been trying to accomplish for a long time. I've been trying to accomplish it since high school. High school is when I first thought of it, the spatial fourth dimension. And back in high school, you know, like, all I had was my imagination, and you know, and then YouTube came out, and then I saw YouTube videos about it, and it was really cool. That happened during college, and then apps came out for touchscreen phones, and you know, like, everybody was making their own app, and eventually I thought, well, now everybody's making their own app, and I kind of realized, you know, by this time I kind of learned that, you know, if I had an idea, I probably wasn't the only one with the same idea. So there's probably other people that have thought of the same thing, and there's probably other people that have thought of the same thing with computer software or app making experience. And so one day I just thought of, like, what if there's an app that, you know, with games, that'll help you visualize the fourth dimension. And so that's what happened. And I found this game called Hyper Maze. And so I'm playing it, and I'm not just playing it because, you know how I do things, that I really try to adopt the little subtleties that go on, and I don't want to learn how to play it. I don't want to without paying attention to these subtleties about how things work, right? Because it's possible, yeah, for me to figure out a way, you know, for me to figure out a shortcut of how to get through a four-dimensional maze without really thinking about it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pay attention to the details and the subtleties before I learn how to get out of the maze, or how to finish the task, how to complete the task. I want to know all the steps. I want to make sure that I acquaint myself enough with all the steps that are possible in navigating through the maze, so that if I was to be placed in the maze again, I would have no trouble understanding where I am and how to get out. You know, so it's not just about completing the task, it's about getting familiar with that world first. Yeah, so I'm going to start playing. And so one thing that I started doing here is that before even trying to accomplish a four-dimensional maze, I put myself in a three-dimensional maze. So instead of doing a four-dimensional maze with 3D limitations, I'm starting simpler. I'm doing a 3D maze with 2D limitations, because it's easier for me to understand 3D. I do 2D limitations so that I can figure out how to make the skip from 2D to 3D, which is something that I'm supposed to understand, which is, you know, it'll be easier to make that skip because I already know how to visualize 3D. But I'll be visualizing 3D from a 2D perspective, and I'll pay attention to how I make that shift from 2D to 3D, and I'll use that shift, that shift pattern, to go from 3D to 4D. So right now, I'm just doing a 3D maze with 2D limitations to pay attention to how my brain works, so that I can make that shift, so in a 2D world I can make that shift in thinking about 3D, and then I will use that shift to go from 2D to 3D. I'll use that shift, that pattern, that maneuver, to go from 3D to being able to visualize 4D. So that's my plan. It's very I'm very fortunate that this game has that feature. That this game has the feature that you can have 3D maze with 2D limitations. So I'm really impressed with this game. This game is called Hyper Maze, and you can find it on the Google Play Store. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to explain why I'm doing this video. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because when I'm thinking about things, that my goal is not primarily to accomplish the task, but to get familiar with the task accomplishing habits, the task accomplishing features that one needs to master in order to accomplish the task. So so that's what I'm doing here, and so you'll see how my mind is working. You know, I'm not really trying to learn how to get out of the maze. I'm not really trying to take any mental shortcuts. You know, I'm trying to learn everything thoroughly, to learn all the features and all the corners and all the sides of everything, so that I can really grasp the world, so that I feel comfortable in that world, you know. So let me just show you, let me just explain the 3D feature of the game while I show you, because if I show it to you, it will be explained better. So here's what's going on. Okay, the maze is right here. So first thing I'm going to show you is a 3D maze. A 3D maze, you know, there's a 2D maze, the one that you have in the paper. All you do is follow the lines, you get out, right? The 3D maze is it's a cube, right? Because it's a cube. The cube is three dimensions, and so you go up and down, sides, left, right, in, out, you know, in order to find the exit. So I will play for you a maze. So here we go. I'm going to start the camera. All right, so here is a regular 3D maze. Start now. Okay. So regular 3D maze, I will start it right now. Okay. So that's regular 3D maze. I'll make the camera's face in the same direction so that it's easier to visualize and easier to grasp. Okay. Hold on. So regular 3D maze. Regular 3D maze. Come on. Okay. Alright, so you know, you could see all the places, you could see all the sides, there's nothing there. Okay, good. Check that, and that's a dead end. Good. Okay, is there a way up? Oh, I'm confused. Where am I? I forgot which way is up. That's interesting. Anyway, but it's not too... Oh, okay, that's because you can spin. I don't even know if I spin correctly. Huh. Okay, anyway, let's start all over. Oh, I think this is the right way. So that's a dead end. It's not a dead end. That is a dead... Is that a dead end? We could go this way. Okay. No, this is very easy, very simple. Three-dimensional maze. Okay, that's a dead end on both sides. Okay. So I'll just finish this up for you. And I forgot which way I came from here. So let's go this way. Really? Okay. And I forgot which way I came from there too. This is horrible. This is supposed to be easy, and I'm... Oh man. I guess my sense of direction is worse than... Oh man, I can't even grasp a 3D maze. There it is, there's the exit. Okay, the colors went away, but I reached the exit. One more time. Okay, so that's a regular 3D maze. now let me start the 3D maze with 2D limitations. So this is what I will use. I will work with the 2D limitations in order to, my mind will try to grasp the 3D from the 2D limitations, but I don't want to do that, because if I do that, then I'll just be working in regular 3D. No, I want to work with 2D limitations. I want to work with the limitations and see what my mind does in order to figure out how to navigate 3D wise in a 2D with 2D limits. The mental shortcut that I do not want to take is that I do not want to learn how to visualize 3D from the 2D limitations. That'll be a setback, because I won't be able to calculate 3D with the 2D limitations anymore. All right, so here's what I will do. Okay, I'll go to settings. Oh, okay. First of all, here, before I do that, let me just show you another thing. Start. Okay. This is what I will be doing. Okay, good. This is what I will be working with, basically. I don't know how to do this. There you go. How about this way? Okay. So this is basically the cameras that I will be working with in the 2D limitations. Okay, so it's nothing strange. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just that the cameras are a little bit switched. One of the cameras is up and down, and the other cameras is side to side. So this is what it will look like. Okay. And as you can see, if you just ignore one of the cameras, you'll be able to, visualize. You'll be able to grasp the three-dimensional world. There's the exit. But before I exit, you notice how the cameras change, when I move one of the cameras horizontally, the other one moves vertically. When I move one of the cameras vertically, the other one moves horizontally. And it's just all shifted 90 degrees to one side. So that's what I'll be working with. Exit. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be working with. I'll go to settings. I'll remove. See, it's amazing how it has this option. I don't know if they thought about what I'm trying to think about, but it seems like they did, because they made it so that you could play with that purpose. Alright, so now it's a 3D maze, small, with 2D limitations. So this is what I was saying. Now because I'll switch it over. Now because it's 2D limitations, you cannot see how, because this is only two-dimensional, you will not be able to visualize you will not be able to visualize rotating upward or downward, because you can only rotate side to side. It's a 2D world. And because of that, it will not show how you rotate upward or downward. Instead, it will show static. You see that? Instead, it will show static, because it's something that's impossible to visualize, right? Oh. Okay, I guess it's done. Good thing I got everything now. All right, so that's what I'll be working with.